taking refuge from the Buddhist perspective should never be seen as becoming a Buddhist. What it means is you're going to engage with the Dharma. Buddhist is a term, it's a label. I'm becoming a Buddhist if it is the same thing as I'm going to become a member of a club. That does not taking refuge. Taking refuge is seen as a gateway, entering the gateway of beginning to commit yourself to working with Dharma. And the Dharma means truth. It's not a philosophy, it's not a doctrine, it's not a religion. It is called a religion, it is called a philosophy, it is called a doctrine. Because we live in a world that likes to label and have a reference. And so, if you take, for example, just in common language and speaking, if somebody says, oh, what are you? Then if you tell the other person, I'm somebody working with truth, they don't like to hear that. But then if you say, I'm a Buddhist, they're quite satisfied with that answer. So saying I'm a Buddhist has to be much more done out of sympathy for the others, to be more content with your answer. But essentially from your own mind, you should always think, because I have taken refuge, I am someone who from today commits myself to working with recognizing truth beyond the elaborations of a mind filled with neuroses and afflictions. So after taking refuge, you should consider yourself somebody embarking on the journey of discovering the truth, especially knowing that the truth is intrinsic of one's own self. What helps you on the path is a temporary form of practice. It is temporary because it stays supportive of you for a span of time for which it is useful. Now within this, the three sort of the objects of refuge become the Buddha, Dharma, and the Sangha. Therefore, when we take refuge into the three jewels. They're called three jewels, but sort of literally they are referred to as the three rare and sublime ones. So therefore, the Buddha is seen as the teacher from whom originates all the teachings, which then introduces us to the inherent truth. Then one takes refuge into the Dharma, the path of the truth. Then one takes refuge into the Sangha. The Sangha that you take refuge into is the community of bodhisattvas, whose examples you aspire to follow. So into these three, today I, feeling the presence of all the Buddhas and the bodhisattvas who have walked on this path before myself, and through that have obtained realization for the benefit of oneself and all sentient beings. May I today also begin this journey by taking refuge, thinking in this way. So with your hands in Anjali, generating this understanding and aspiration, take refuge into the Buddha, Dharma, and the Sangha. Of the 9 disciplines that are undertaken by those who take refuge, these 9 disciplines can be gathered into 3 main disciplines. And of which the first is that through taking refuge from now until the enlightenment of all sentient beings, one must observe the vow of as much as possible maintaining awareness, mindfulness of your physical actions, that through your body you do not, particularly intentionally, inflict hurt and harm on other sentient beings. Through taking refuge, one also maintains the commitment of guarded alertness, developing guarded alertness and awareness and mindfulness of your speech, that you do not use your speech in any way that is intentionally going to hurt and harm another sentient being. By taking refuge, you also commit yourself to developing mindfulness of your attitude of your mind, so that none of your mental thoughts, as much as possible, and in particular, intentionally, develops thoughts with the intention of hurting and harming other sentient beings. Mindfulness of body's action, mindfulness of speech, and mindfulness of the thoughts that you produce if you, with that mindfulness, are able to refrain from harming sentient beings, but in its stead make your heart and your mind better, speech kinder and more gentle, and your physical body more still and gentle and flexible, then you will be keeping the refuge vows. Then after that, then you get your Dharma name or refuge name, which all these years I've never found out why I'm doing this, but it's done. So you're born again Buddhist. Okay, but Sadhana is telling me that through receiving the Dharma name, and one is symbolizing letting go of samsaric, mundane karmic connections, and then transforming it into a Dharma connection. So that's a born again Buddhist. So anyway, without joking about it, receiving a Dharma name establishes you on the path of liberation. It acts as the seed. It also acts as an indication for you to discover the quality your name denotes within one's own self. So with that, then taking this refuge